Everyone's always talking about planning a trip to Italy, and it's a beloved travel destination for a good reason, but there are some things that they might not be telling you. In this video, we are going to go through some of the biggest mistakes to avoid when planning your vacation in Italy that you must know before you go, and yes, some of these do have the potential to impact your experience on your trip. Are you ready? Let's get started. Mistake number 1 is spending too much time in Rome. Don't get me wrong, Rome is an amazing city to see. There are tons of things to do, but you can spend too much time there, and the same applies for other larger cities in Italy as well. Some people plan to spend over half their trip in Rome, and while I love the Eternal City, I really do think that this is too much. Go for a quick introduction and then head out to see what the rest of Italy has to offer, or at the minimum, at least take some day trips from Rome. Now, how long you spend depends on the length of your trip, but on a 10-day trip, I generally recommend about 3 days in Rome to get a good overview of the city. Mistake number 2 is trying to pack too much into one trip, and how do I know this? Because I've done it myself and I constantly see others doing it as well. Italy may not look that large on the map, but it's actually quite big with so much to see and do, and you run the risk of burning out if you try and do too much with not enough time. When planning your trip to Italy, I recommend choosing your must-see places and then making those the priority. If they're all spread throughout the country and you don't have much time, you may want to rethink your itinerary. Sometimes it's better to do one region of Italy if you only have a short time, say 5 days, instead of spending half your trip transporting between destinations. Don't forget to check out my 10-day Italy itinerary video, which is specifically geared for first-time visitors, and I will drop that in the description below. Mistake number 3, and this is especially directed at my fellow Americans, is being too scared to use or not understanding public transportation in Italy. Now, many Americans are planning a trip to Italy and are confused by the public transportation system, and I get it. I'm from Florida, and the public transport here is basically non-existent and definitely doesn't run on time. This is totally different than Italy, which has an incredible and affordable public transportation system that you should absolutely take advantage of. There are larger trains that take you between cities, and then once you arrive at your destination, there are smaller local forms of public transit to get you where you want to go within that city. Italy is not like the United States at all. This country is well connected by wonderful public transit that you should absolutely use. Mistake number 4 is not keeping an eye out for pickpockets or understanding common scams in Italy. Now, pickpocketers are skilled in the art of distraction, utilizing the busy, tight quarters of popular tourist attractions, public transportation, and bustling piazzas to grab what they're after. To minimize your chances of getting pickpocketed, wear a small crossbody bag and empty your pockets. Keep all of your valuables off the table and place your bag in your lap at all times when you're at restaurants, and avoid people who are particularly persistent in trying to get your attention. In general, if someone is trying to offer you anything from help with buying your train ticket to a rose for your loved one, decline and walk away. Things like people asking for donations to a supposed charity or a random person looking to give you a tour of an attraction are both fake. If you take a taxi, only do so from an official taxi stand and ensure that you take an official taxi. My best advice is to stay alert, especially in cities and busy areas, and to educate yourself on common scams. Mistake number 5 is completely writing off renting a car. This is a huge mistake for Italy trips because renting a car will provide you with so much freedom, and it's one of the best ways to tour Italy. Yes, I talked about this country's fantastic public transportation system, and it's incredible and you should absolutely use it, but great public transit can only take you so far, and you also have to stick to a schedule for the buses and the trains. Renting a car in Italy will allow you to explore the countryside more easily and at your own pace. You can visit smaller villages, do more remote hikes, and stay out as late as you want. I understand that renting a car in Italy isn't for everyone, and if you're visiting for the first time and just want to see highlights such as Rome, Florence, and Venice, you won't really need one because the public transit is great. But if you want the freedom renting a car provides, I highly recommend it. Mistake number 6 is only traveling to Italy during the summer because people often think this is the only time to go with the best weather and when the experience will be the most enjoyable. Now, I'm here to tell you that this is not true. You can plan a trip to Italy any time of the year, and I highly recommend visiting during the off-season or the shoulder season. The weather is cool and pleasant, there are less tourists, prices are better, and accommodations are not overly hot. Of course, this depends on where you want to visit. If you want to see the Dolomites, winter and spring won't be the best time unless you're looking to ski. If summer is your only time to visit Italy, then please feel free. You're still going to have a fantastic trip, but I just wanted to let you know that there isn't just one time to plan your vacation, as there is something to do in Italy during all seasons. Mistake number 7 is eating brightly colored and whipped gelato, and I get it, the colors are attractive, but it's not good quality gelato, and the tall mounds are a sign of too much air in the product. Instead, save your money for real gelato, which is muted in color, more dense, and an overall higher quality product. Mistake number 8 is spending way too much money on an international cell service plan, and if your carrier offers one, do not get it. You do not need it. Instead, I highly recommend getting a local SIM card in Italy because you can get fast, easy, and affordable network connections. Now, I buy my SIM cards in Italy in the airport upon arrival, and the pricing is cheaper and faster than using your own plan's international data. You can also choose to use an eSIM if you prefer, but whatever you do, make sure that your smartphone is unlocked for international SIM card usage before you go, which usually involves calling your provider or looking online. Mistake number 9 is forgetting to pre-book tickets to major attractions in Italy, especially in the bigger cities. The best way to ensure that you're able to check everything off of your itinerary is to book guided tours and entrance tickets in advance, and this often allows you to skip the enormous lines. For example, in Rome, you should pre-book your Colosseum and Vatican visits, and in Naples, you should pre-book Pompeii in advance. If you only have a few days in town, you don't want to waste your time waiting in line or missing the chance to see the iconic sights. Mistake number 10 is buying bottled water. I know, it's hot, you're thirsty, and it's your first time in Rome, and the natural reaction is to buy bottled water to stay hydrated. Instead, bring a reusable water bottle and take advantage of the abundance of water fountains around this historic city. In addition, the tap water all throughout Italy is safe to drink, and bringing your own bottle will help save you money during your trip. Mistake number 11 is eating near the biggest tourist attractions and getting lured into one of the many tourist trap restaurants. All of the larger cities in Italy have an abundance of mouth-watering food at a reasonable price if you eat like a local and know where to look. This means walking a bit further and not eating on St. Mark's Square in Venice or right off the Colosseum in Rome. Ask yourself, is the menu laminated rather than in book format, or does the menu have pictures? If so, skip it. If you're being hounded by staff members outside the door insisting you come inside to dine, skip it. The best places don't need to vocalize how good they are. Mistake number 12 is not dressing appropriately when visiting Vatican City or one of the many other beautiful churches in Italy. Modesty is key, and the general rule of thumb for these sites is no exposed knees, shoulders, or bare backs. Some locations are stricter than others, and you will be turned away if you're not dressed appropriately, regardless of how long you've been waiting in line. A great solution to simultaneously beating the heat and dressing appropriately, particularly for women, is to wear linen pants or a long skirt and a light shawl to cover your shoulders that can be removed once you exit the building. Mistake number 13 is only visiting the tourist hotspots and nowhere else. Now, I say this as someone who loves touristy locations because they're usually touristy for a reason, such as the Vatican in Rome or the canals of Venice. That being said, it is a huge mistake to only visit touristy locations and nowhere else, and yes, I made this mistake as well on my first trip to Italy. Instead, I recommend a purposeful blend of famous and lesser-known spots that will allow you to get a better feel for the country. There are so many amazing, quaint towns and villages that are just 30 to 45 minutes away from major metro areas that people planning a trip to Italy often miss. Even if you skip a huge tourist center of a city for a more local area, you will be rewarded with a truly unique experience. Mistake number 14 is not wearing comfortable walking shoes, and yes, a lot of walking is inevitable on your trip to Italy. Even paired with a reliable and expansive public transportation system, you will still be on your feet quite a bit. I highly recommend breaking in your walking shoes in advance of your trip and packing a few solid options. Even if they may not be the cutest or the most fashionable shoes you own, your feet will thank you after walking around on cobblestones all day. Mistake number 15 is not planning your budget in advance, as things can really add up and get expensive quickly. Now, keep in mind your bigger expenses like flights, hotels, and rental cars, and then plan a daily budget for food and activities. You can easily save money and get a unique local experience by grocery shopping, and I highly recommend exploring free things to do in the area that you're visiting. If you know in advance the average cost of meals, transport, lodging, and the activities that you want to do, you will know what to expect and how to plan your spending once you arrive. I'm so excited for you to experience Italy, and I hope that these tips help you when planning your trip. They are not meant to scare you, but instead help you be aware on your vacation and also provide a few alternative points of view that you might have never considered. Stay hydrated, lace up those walking shoes, eat way too much gelato, the real kind of course, marvel at architecture from centuries ago, and be prepared to never want to say goodbye to Italy. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time.